What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Lions video. Now, we've been talking about the Detroit Lions draft class, going through each and every individual prospect, giving it a grade, giving it an analysis, going into a deep dive and deep breakdown on each and every one of the Detroit Lions 2021 draft class members. And today we are going to be going over the Detroit Lions first pick of day 3 in wide receiver Amon St. Brown. Now, before we get into breaking down Amon St. Brown, before we get into the grade of the pick, what to expect his rookie season, his strengths, his weaknesses, and everything you will need to know about the wide receiver from USC. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, please consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It takes just 2 seconds out of your day to do so. It's quick, free, and easy, and you would be helping the channel out more than you could possibly know. So if you could do that, take those 2 seconds to like and subscribe. I'd be greatly appreciative for it. But with all that being said, and without any further ado, let's get into the Detroit Lions 112th pick, the 112th selection in the NFL draft in USC wide receiver Amon St. Brown. Now, as I said, with the 112th selection in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Amon St. Brown, wide receiver, USC. Now, I did get to keep that card, which is a very, very cool souvenir. I wanted to show it in the video. But, yes, the Detroit Lions did finally address the wide receiver position with the first pick of day 3 and their first pick of the 4th round. Now, Amon St. Brown is actually a brother to his 2 other brothers, one of which was committed to Notre Dame and is now a Green Bay Packer, the other which I believe is going into college this year. Now, St. Brown stands at 5'11" and a half, almost 6 foot, 6 feet on a good day. He stands at 197 pounds with a 74-inch wingspan and 30-inch arms. Now, he played 3 seasons with the USC Trojans, and in those 30 games, he had 178 receptions for 2,270 yards for 16 touchdowns, while averaging 12.8 yards per reception. Now, Amon-Ra was very, very good value with the 112th selection. He was a wide receiver that very realistically should have gone probably bottom of the 2nd round, if not early top of the 3rd round. He was a day 2 guy at the worst, and there is no reason that there should have been a player of his caliber with the 112th selection. Now, this was a theme throughout the entire draft. I feel like every pick in the NFL draft, especially for the Lions, but for a lot of other teams as well, was a really big value pick. Some of that likely has to do with the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of that has to do with just the fact that this draft class, especially at wide receiver, was very, very talented, as well as just the fact that every once in a while, some players just fall farther than they absolutely should. Now, regardless of where Amon St. Brown should have gone, regardless of where you think Amon St. Brown should have been selected, the fact remains that he was a 4th round selection, and the fact remains that he is a Detroit Lion. Now, Amon St. Brown has a ton of great attributes and is, of course, as I said, a wide receiver that should have gone much earlier, of course, has so many good traits that you're going to find for a guy drafted out of the 4th round. Now, the first trait that I discovered, the first trait that really stuck out to me when watching Amon-Ra was his ability to create separation. Now, Amon-Ra is not the biggest wide receiver. As I said, 5'11" and a half, 6 foot on a good day. Like, he is not the biggest wide receiver, but he does make up for that with his ability to create separation. He has very good footwork, runs pretty clean routes, runs really good routes, creates pretty good separation, and allows the quarterback a wide open window, or at least a wider window, to fit in passes, whereas a guy like Kenny Galladay doesn't give you that window. A guy like Marvin Jones doesn't always give you that window. Amon St. Brown is going to be a better separator than a lot of the other guys on the Detroit Lions a season ago. He joins that with Quintez Cephas, who, again, one of the better separators on the team. Of course, Tyrell Williams is your big body guy. Amon-Ra kind of fits right there in that shifty slot receiver that can create good separation underneath, has really good footwork, and can work really, really well out of the slot. Now, his separation ability isn't quite on the level of a guy like maybe Elijah Moore or maybe even a Rondale Moore, but his separation ability, his his ability to create separation immediately off the line is something that I noticed and is something that I think will help him find immediate success in the Detroit Lions system. Now, another thing that stuck out to me is that he is very, very dangerous after the catch. He is a very, very good yak machine, and in that instance does remind me of Golden Tate. Golden Tate, I think, is actually 5'10", so he's a little shorter than Amon-Ra, but I think they have a lot of very similar qualities. Golden Tate was very good off the line, very good at creating separation, and as I said, when the ball was in Golden Tate's hands, he was electric. He was the yak king. He was the best yards after catch receiver in the entire NFL, and I don't think Amon-Ra is going to be that way. I don't know if Amon-Ra is going to be the best yard after catch wide receiver in the league, but with his ability to create separation and with his ability to make plays after the catch, I think he's going to be a very big part of this Lions offense very early into his NFL career. I mean, he makes people miss. He does not go down after first contact. Like, for a wide receiver, he does stay up pretty well. He does have pretty good contact balance. And as I said, just more times than not, makes plays happen after the catch. Now, with his great separation and with his yard after catch ability, very rarely does Amon-Ra have to make contested catches. Very rarely does he have to out-jump people. Very rarely does he have to, just completely moss somebody, completely have to moss the defensive back. But there were certain situations, there were red zone jump balls that USC liked to throw his way. There were just jump balls in general where maybe the pass was underthrown, or maybe it was just kind of the range, the end of the quarterback's throwing range. Like, whatever the case may be, there were a couple of instances throughout the season where Amon-Ra did have to win a jump ball, when he did have to get up, where he did have to out jump the corner and just be the first guy to the football. And in that case, he won those battles as well. There were several jump balls, especially in the end zone, especially in the red zone, where their quarterback would just throw it up. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad pass. It'd be a pretty good placed pass, but it was a jump ball where it was simply Amon-Ra St. Brown versus the DB, and more times than not, Amon-Ra St. Brown won that matchup. There was a game, I can't remember the exact opponent, but there was a game early in the college football season this year where he had 4 catches for 4 touchdowns. 2 of them were red zone jump balls where he just simply was the better player. He simply out-jumped him, got his hands on the ball first, and came down inbounds with the touchdown reception. So Amon-Ra St. Brown can do a lot of different things for your offense. He can get separation. He can get open. You can give him a screen pass. You can give him a swing pass and see what he can do in the open field. He can be a guy that in the red zone, even at just 5'11", you can throw him a jump ball and have confidence that he's going to out-jump the defensive back and win that contested catch. Like, Amon-Ra simply doesn't have that many weaknesses as a player, which is why I was shocked that he did actually fall to pick 112. He's a guy that I think is going to be a starter day one for the Detroit Lions. I think he's going to start in the slot for the Detroit Lions. I think our wide receiver is going to be Tyrell Williams on the outside. I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to start in the middle, or is going to start at the slot, and I think it's going to be either between Brashad Perryman or Quintez Cephas to take that second boundary wide receiver spot. So with that being the case, Amon-Ra adds much needed talent to a wide receiver core. He brings in a guy that, of course, is going to sign a 4-year contract, more likely than not, that will keep him here, whereas the other wide receivers are all on 1-year contracts except for him and Quintez Cephas. It brings in a position of need. It's good value. He's a great player, does not have a lot of weaknesses. He's a day one starter. He's a steal in the NFL draft, and he's exactly what the Detroit Lions should have been targeting the entire time. This grade for the pick is an A. It's a simple A. There's no downside to this pick. There is no negative to be found for this pick. He's going to start. He's going to play well. He's going to be productive. His skills should translate well to the next NFL level. My comp for him is actually Golden Tate. I see so many similarities between the two's game that, I mean, you could probably swap jerseys with them and they would still be producing at the same level. You put Golden Tate in an Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey in college, you see the same things happen. You put Amon-Ra St. Brown in the NFL last year in Golden Tate's situation, he makes the same plays. Like, they are very, very similar players, but Amon-Ra is an inch to an inch and a half taller and a little bit heavier. Like, Amon-Ra can do everything for the Lions offense. It was a phenomenal pick by Brad Holmes. It addressed a position of need, and it was the exact pick that Lions fans were looking for from the first round. Now, with all that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think about Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let me know what you think about the USC product. Where do you think he's going to play? Where do you think he's going to see his most playing time? Do you think he starts on day one in the slot? Do you think maybe he develops into a boundary wide receiver one day? Or do you think he just maybe outright wins a boundary wide receiver job? Let me know down in the comments below what you thought about the pick and what you think about the player. But But with all that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for watching the video. As I said, if you have not subscribed to the channel and you are enjoying the content, if you tune in daily and have yet to subscribe, please go ahead and do that. It helps the channel out more than you could possibly know. But with all that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Until next time, and as always, go Lions!